I would like to start by getting some report backs from our different breakout groups. And I thought it might be great to have our youth participants from the youth breakout to present. So Julie, Ashwini, who have you got representing for the youth breakout session?
We asked, let's see if anyone wanted to participate, but let me see if Luisa is Luisa still here? Luisa.
Yes, hello.
Hi, can you share what you shared with us during our session?
For sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Luisa Apolaya Torres. Hello. I am a recently graduated college student. I studied in Boston, mechanical engineering and theater, and I grew up in LA, specifically in the Montebello area. So I was talking to the youth group a little bit about how when I was growing up, people didn't really pursue theater in any way around Montebello. I saw in the online tool that that is the case based on the data as well. Montebello doesn't really have theater. And that to me was a very like impactful thing. In my mind, the kids in Beverly Hills or Palos Verdes area were putting on musicals all the time, and I felt very frustrated about that. So for the youth group, I wrote a poem about that experience a little bit. But in our discussion, I really appreciated the talking a little bit and sharing. It seemed like the frustration is also goes across all the other youth that were in the group. And I really believe that like interdisciplinary careers and paths are a great way of integrating creativity into traditional paths. So yeah, that's me. I'm really grateful for this Datathon. I think the online tool is super great, and I'm glad I could meet so many creatives through this opportunity.
All right, great. Thank you, Luisa, for sharing your experience. Julie, anybody else from your session?
Did anyone else want to share out in our session? I think that may be it.
All right, well, then, great. Thank you, Julie. How was your session? How was your breakout?
Amazing. We had fun.
All right. Okay. Folks from the K-12 session, I would love to hear what y'all might have done in there, and who wants to report back from K-12.
Great, so I've invited Megha to share out about our session, and potentially Terence if Terence is open, but let's start with Megha.
Hi everyone, I'm Megha. So I come to you as a community arts partner. I guess I should say that off the bat. I found our session and our discussion really honing in on the fact that it turns out we all love data, and we all are really excited about how to use it. And it seems like it's trending in a direction, for me especially, of just wanting to collect more and more data and expanding where we're getting it from. So we're starting from public schools and the districts, but we discussed in our breakout room going to libraries or different organizations, continuing with after school programs, the Boys and Girls Clubs, the YMCAs, but getting all of this information, even public parks or children's hospitals, literally wherever there are children that we are trying to access and provide arts education to. Let's get all of the data from all of these places, which is so daunting, but we can do it, get all of the data, and then how do we utilize it? I think for me, that next step is really, as a community arts partner, I see the need, but then I don't know how to actually get to the teachers. I don't know how to get to the districts. And it's bridging that gap. It's being provided that information of not just cold emailing somebody, but actually having a way in. And is there a program that we can create once we have the data that directly links all of us, who are really trying to offer it for free a lot of the times, just because we want to help kids out. We want to provide arts education above, it's paramount to everything we do. So yeah, that was a lot of the thoughts that that came up in our discussions.
Meg, it makes me think of the joke that somebody said about Datathon sounding like a speed dating, but to me that sounds like a love match between community arts partners and districts. So I would love to have one of our school district or educators also share, and I don't know if Terence, you are willing to share, or any of our others.
Sure.
Great, thanks, Terence.
Yes, thank you, Sandy, and thank you, Megha. So this is my first time attending this Datathon storytelling, and this is really great, of course, by gathering that information. And on my part, as a music director at the charter school, we are trying to expand our music program that would be more interesting for our students, especially with the pandemic. I started a choir, but we can't meet in person, so we had to use like the Zoom or any platform that would be beneficial for the students, and of course for our teachers too. So it was a good experience for me, the K-12 especially, and I'm sure for the others, for the advocacy and for youth as well. And I've shared my information. If anyone would be happy to collaborate, and we welcome you to help out to expand our music program. And thank you very much, Sandy and Megha, and for the others too. Thanks.
Great, thank you. So Bronwyn, I'm not sure your timing, but I think we've shared out, and we'll pass to the next group.
Awesome, that's great. So Cordelia, who can we hear from? Thank you, Sandy, and Megha and Terence for your share outs. Cordelia, who do we have from the advocacy session?
Oh, sorry, I was chatting away on mute. Right, I think we had 2 volunteers.
Where are our 2 volunteers from the advocacy session?
Here I am.
Courtney, there you go. All right, go for it.
So we talked a lot about using data to tell our story, and that story is kind of the advocacy experience. So I started writing mine and I got stuck, but you can hear the first part. So my name's Cortney Matz. I'm an artist and community builder in Los Angeles. And I want artists to come together in community to get the resources they need for wholeness and health. And I want patrons to support these efforts. I care because I experienced the rigors of art making in LA and its unique challenge to body, heart, and soul. So artists should care because this path doesn't have to be so hard. And that's something that I had to find out the hard way. Patrons should care because I'm sure there's a lot of information about this. I have my own opinions about it, but yeah, I think patrons should care because hopefully a lot of our patrons understand that art is necessary, and that building back into artists is also necessary. And there's a lot of valuable contributions that people make in the world that don't have dollars attached to them directly. And so that's kind of where I'm going with the next step, but I need a little more time. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And Betty, I think you are our final report out.
Hi, everybody. My name's Betty Rosen. I'm the teaching artist for the Arts Council for Long Beach. I'm also a teacher at Piece by Piece in Los Angeles. March 13th was the last time I was in the classroom. So this has gotten really emotional today for me. I'm new to data. I'm resistant to data, but no longer, because having seen the how little reporting there has been in Long Beach and how much I know we've done will make me even a stronger advocate. moving forward. So the digital divide is real, and the Arts Council for Long Beach developed physical art kits and high quality curriculum to put in the hands of our students that we couldn't be in classroom with. And then we expanded that to work within the community and community partners. We have a very active executive director on board who's supporting us and sponsors. So my target is to continue to support them and also expand to local businesses to get even more art kits out in the community. LA is an incredibly wealthy community and touts itself for being, you know, artistic and the most creative community in the world. So I want to use this data to get them to put their money where their mouth is.
All right, that is fantastic. Thank you. So thank you, Luisa, Megha, Terence, Cortney, and Betty for your report outs from our different breakout groups. I hope that y'all are, for all of you who were in the breakouts, that your brains are spinning with the possibility of what you could do with data. And one of the things that has come up several times as we've talked about as we've gone through this morning is how can I convince my school or district to get their data in or to update their data? And the good news is we have an expert to tell you how to do that. And Matt Agustin, he's on the staff at the Arts Ed Collective and also works with me on the research and evaluation team. He is the magic that makes it work. He manages the data set. And Matt, do you want to talk to us about how folks can enter their data, update their data? Take it away, Matt.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I want to talk about, the updating the LA County Arts Ed profile, the online tool specifically. And as you know, this data comes from you, actually. You and the community and the district at the school, contribute to this online tool and making it as useful as we've heard today as it is. And it's populated through an online survey. Our online survey is available online on the Arts Ed Collective website. It's open all year long, actually. But I will say that, we do, because we are concerned with quality of data, we do vet the data first. It's not linked to the online tool. So, there is some vetting that takes place. It doesn't instantly update the online tool once surveys are completed. But that's because, we just care about the quality of data and want to make sure that the best data is on there. But please, if you have any feedback on if we should, make it faster, getting the data faster, I told the folks in our breakout session, we'd love to hear more feedback about that. But yes, once you complete the online survey, our team vets the data, and then we typically update the online tool with new data, the beginning, in the middle, and the end of the school years. And you should, we do a big kind of communications push out to the school districts, like in the fall, and we have, flyer, and we include the links in our newsletter. And, we do want our principals to complete the survey, but we know that there's great experts in the school community at the district that are also super qualified to do the online survey too, and probably know more about what's happening at the arts at their school too. So we just encourage them to connect with their principal and updating their data. And up until this point, I believe you have nearly 50% of all 2,000 schools in the county have done the survey at least once. So there's still a lot of schools that we'd love to see on there. So please contact me too, or anyone from our team if you have any questions. Sometimes we go to the district and do a little presentation to the principals meetings. We can do that. So just feel free to contact us. And I see someone drop the link and my email. So please let us know if you have any questions. And we'd love to see more data on there, as you can assume from this event today.
Matt, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
If someone is, let's say, a teaching artist who works in the community, works with schools, and they want to update the data for the schools that they work in, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, that has happened on some instances, and we've I believe they've connected with us first, and we always make sure that the teaching artists and the schools are connected. We just want to make sure that relationship's happening, that even if it's a teaching artist that knows what's happening at the school, that knows best what's art is happening at the school, we want the principal to know too, because through our time surveying schools, we know that sometimes the principal is not the best person to ask, and they might not even know what's really happening in the arts too at their school. So we really want that connection to be had, and we can help guide that connection too. So we encourage our arts partners, teaching artists to connect us, and also just to connect with your principals too.
And would that be the same for a parent who's concerned that maybe their school data doesn't appear or is a little bit out of date?
Yeah, I would encourage also parents and community members to connect with us, and then also, of course, connect with the principal at the school or the arts teachers. We also want that relationship to happen too, where school and parents are both understanding what arts education exactly is happening at their school.
All right, thank you, Matt. If folks have questions about this, you are welcome to drop them in the chat or follow up with Matt after the Datathon. We have 14 minutes left in the Datathon, and I just have one closing question that I'd like to ask all of you, and folks are welcome to raise hands and answer or put this in the chat or follow up with us later if you have reflections later. And our big question is, now that you've had a little bit of time to get into the Arts Ed profile and see how it works and see what's in there, how can we improve the Arts Ed profile? Are there items that you wish you could, we heard a little bit from Danielle this morning. Are there things in there that are missing that would help you to understand what's happening with Arts Ed data in your school? Are there things in the profile that you're like, we don't need that, that's not all that helpful? And then how can we make it easier for people like you to find it and use it? So if anyone has any thoughts, you are welcome to raise your hands, and I'd love to let you speak about this or drop your thoughts in the chat. How can we make the Arts Ed profile more useful to you? I can hear everybody's like they're constructing a really great answer in their minds, and they're going to jump right in and answer.
Well, Bronwyn, I'll just share in our K through 12 group, there was a lot of discussion about how the Arts Ed profile was accurately representing work done with community arts partners. And I know we talked about that a little bit. But another interesting thing came up too was, how can we minimize sort of survey fatigue and make sure that, not every instrument is meant for every purpose, but are there ways to get some of that more aggregate district-wide data around partnerships a little bit better? So I know there's probably a way, but I just know a lot of school districts and arts partners would love to know, like we talked about, that love match, how to make that happen.
That's great. I think you've just like thrown down a serious data challenge for us, because that kind of data, hard to collect, but so important. What it's kind of a truism with data collection is the most important questions are the hardest to answer. And I've seen that many times. Sara McDaniels, I see your hand.
Hi there. I'm curious about, I think that the look of the dashboard is fantastic. It's very streamlined. It's very user friendly. I'm also aware that there were more specific and more detailed questions that are part of the survey. And I'm curious if there's an option, maybe I missed it, where you can click, I think it'd be overwhelming if all that information was there when you went on, right? But if you could click if you did want to dive deeper and find more of that information. Did I miss
Sara,
that?
you are paying attention to details. I'm actually quite impressed. That is somebody who really knows the arts ed profile. So the survey itself is much longer than what appears on there. We used other questions to calculate some stuff that we used in that 2017 report, where we did some analysis where we tried to identify what are factors in the school that may be associated with greater or lesser quality in order to measure equity. And those measures, those numbers are, we did not make those public. We didn't want to like shame schools by saying you only scored X on the quality score or Y on the quantity score. So you can get aggregate results in the report. So that's there. Our effort, the challenge we have of how much data to share, what level of detail is something we are still struggling with. It's something that's really hard in any data project. We believe that what we have on the profile in the tool is what is most important and most relevant. But if there are elements in the survey that we've missed and we think we should add, we would love to hear from you on that. But the third part of my answer is that the schools themselves and districts that fill it out, they do see their own data and can use it for planning. So they get the full results. The public only gets a subset of results. And in the report, it's the analysis we did, the equity analysis does include all of that data. Wow, I'm impressed by that question. Tracy, I see your hand. Tracy's got a hand raised. Yes, there you go.
Oh, sorry. It was kind of a mistake, but I don't think it was. I was really impressed by this whole thing. I love the data and the power that we can use it for. And we're in a crisis. So it's really an opportunity with all of hopefully the money that's going to be coming to us from the federal thing. So I'm hoping that there will be an opportunity for us to receive some of that funds. So thank you for doing all of this.
Me too. I mean, it's the big challenge. There's money coming down. The money won't begin to touch the need across our districts. We know that needs go far beyond. And where is the role of arts education in meeting some of those broader needs? Can we get the resources there? I think love that observation. Amy, I see your hand.
Bronwyn, great job again. So nice to see you all here. And I think Sandy brought it up, and I know Matt and I have talked about this many times. I think if there was a way, and I see it in the chat too, to take arts partners like ourselves and survey us and add that data into each school as a separate item, would maybe be another way to show what is also happening that may not be shown, as Matt nicely said, from a principal standpoint or another standpoint. So, Angels Gate really wants to help with that. If there's anything we can do to move that forward, that would be great.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amy. You are right on. Priya, I see your hand is raised also.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Hi.
Okay, I have a question that's not directly with this particular one. The one that was before, it was canceled. I was curious if you'll be ever done again with the LA Philharmonic.
Oh, Priya, thank you for asking about the
Because
2020
I'll
Datathon.
tell you, no, because I performed at Carnegie, blah, 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 and I wanted to go to that. And it was canceled so many times, ridiculously. And then it said indefinitely postponed. And I am a musician in that sense. And if you were to do it again, I'm just curious if you guys were, I would die to go to that one. And I looked them up on LinkedIn and I didn't want to bother them. It's awkward to make some random connection on LinkedIn. But I was very, very impressed with the LA Philharmonic. So,
yeah, oh, thank you, Priya. That's a fabulous question. Back in April of 2020, we were going to have a datathon that was, we had partnership with the LA Phil. We were going to map poets around LA County, and our focus was going to be on policy and the role of data in policy making. And unfortunately, for the obvious reasons, we ended up canceling it. And when we decided to do an online datathon, we made a decision to have a much narrower focus because we knew we couldn't make you all sit on Zoom for 8 hours, that we would need to do the full kind of have 4 different breakout sessions on 4 different topics, would really need a full day. And so we made a decision to focus on only one subset of what was going to be in that policy, and that was the arts ed profile. Let's hope that things are better, and next April we can do an in-person fuller datathon that's all day long, where we can be together. We can explore some of those other data sets that we had planned. And I will take a look at look at those materials from 2020. All of the materials that we had ready for 2020 are actually on the Arts Datathon website if you'd like to take a look, including there are links to descriptions to all the sessions that we didn't do but wanted to. So hoping there will be a future Datathon with some of those partners as well. Any other last questions anybody wants to add? We're collecting your questions in the chat, and there will be a follow-up email to everybody who participated, probably to everybody who registered, although so many of the people who registered did actually show up. I'm thrilled. And we will hopefully have answers to some of the questions that are raised. We have the live archive that you can continue to contribute to if you would like. And you'll have that, all the materials in the live archive will be posted in the archive page. We'll link to that from the Arts Datathon website. And with that, I'm going to give you all back the last 3 minutes of our morning. Thank you all for being here. It has been so wonderful. Thank you to the folks who led each of our breakout sessions. Thank you to my colleagues who volunteered and did all the behind the scenes stuff. Thank you to our steering committee members, and hope to see you at another Datathon very soon.